It's Kevin Wells with North Group Real Estate, and I wanted to create this hopefully short video to explain what's going on in our market right now and what to expect if you are buying or purchasing a home right now. So the first thing I want to address is that this market is very different and it's unique. First, it's not just a seller's market, it's an extreme seller's market. So what does that mean? What that means is that interest rates are still low. Yes, I know they've gone up to 3.75 or 4% now nationally, however, average wise. But because that's still pretty low, comparatively speaking to what it used to be 4 or 5 years ago or even longer, what's happened is basically inventory is down, so demand is up. So what that does is that causes prices to increase. And so when that happens, there's some tactics that we're going to have to take whenever we go look at homes and we put offers on homes in order to win the bid, so to say. And I hate saying it like that, but when we have anywhere between 5 to 7 offers, and trust me, I have seen that, both on being the listing agent as well as the buyer's agent, I see that quite often. So here's some tips that I share with my clients and that have helped. So I hope you will also share this with a friend, a family member, or maybe even a coworker that may be starting to look. And of course, tell them to give me a call and I'd be more than happy to help them out. So tip number one, write a personal letter. And what I mean by this is just write something very short and sweet with a picture on it that's kind of explaining why you like that person's house and why you're moving to the area. People like that, and I've actually won offers simply because of that. So try that out. So that's one thing. It doesn't take very long, 5, 10, 15 minutes to write up something small. Only needs to be about a paragraph. Tip number 2, and this is a big one, rent back. Be willing to, and it all depends on the seller's case, but be willing to rent back the home to them after you purchase. And on average, I'm typically seeing that happening. What usually will win an offer again is typically between 2 and 3 weeks. Because if you're selling a home right now, sometimes you're not going to be able to buy a home without your home first being under contract. So that same person that you're buying a house from, it may be going through the same thing depending on what their finances look like. So keep that in mind. So a 2 to 3 week rent back. Tip number 3, do not ask for closing costs. Guys, right now with the extreme sellers market, I have hardly anybody's asking for closing costs right now, and sellers are rarely giving them away. So plan on paying for your down payment and not asking for closing costs. And closing costs, they vary. It depends on the price range of the house. So when we're working together, I can definitely help you with that and figure out what that is. Number 4, be willing to go above the asking price. Yes, I know you've been told not to do this. In the past, it's been ingrained. Don't pay more for something than what's listed. But again, we're in a different market. We're in a different reality right now with this market. And so what I want you to be thinking of is when we're doing this, what we're doing is when we're having to outbid somebody, we're going up against cash, conventional loans, FHA, USDA, VA, whatever it happens to be. But right now we have a lot of cash offers. So that means in order to be at the top of the list, we're going to have to go over the listing price. Now, of course, I'm going to do comps and I'm going to make sure that that is feasible and it makes sense. But you need to be willing to do that. And in addition to that, you need to be willing to pay the difference between the sales price we agreed on and the appraisal value. What do I mean by that? If we got a contract on a home for 310, it was listed, let's say it was listed for 300, we got it for 310, we may be willing to offer, hey, we're willing to pay up to 5K or even 7K or 10K difference if the appraisal comes in short. And why is this important? It is important simply because we are ensuring to the seller, hey, we are definitely going to be paying X amount for this price. if it comes in short. If it comes in short, you're still getting 305 or 307 or 302 or 310, whatever we kind of came up with. And so it just is a reassurance. And when you're competing against cash and they offer 310, they don't have an appraisal. They can waive the appraisal. So what does that mean? They get the bid. So if you're using a conventional loan or any kind of loan, this is a very good tool and tactic to use if you can do it financially, of course. And of course, that's something you need to go over with myself and a lender before we go looking at homes, so that I can help you create the best offer so that it can be more likely accepted than not. So number 5, another option is purchasing the home as is. What I mean by this is you can still do your home warranty, you can still do a home inspection, but we're just waiving the home inspection basically. We're basically saying, hey, we're going to take the home as is, how we see it or how we don't. Or what we see and what we don't, rather. I'm sorry. Wordplay there. But that is another option to do. Now, it's not something I usually recommend because I definitely recommend a home inspection. But again, going up against different, offers, you never know what someone else is offering, and the agent is not legally allowed to tell me that. Me as a listing agent as well, I'm not legally allowed to tell the other agent what the other offers look like. So waiving that home inspection sometimes can be good, or just being willing to take the home as is. So, but again, you can still get your home inspection. If you can take away other contingencies, we already talked about the home inspection, but the other thing is appraisal. You can actually waive your appraisal if you're not financing. So if you're paying cash, this is where you can head over heels. You can beat just about any other buyer by waiving the appraisal. And in some instances, if it's just a very sought after community and area, then you may have to actually waive the home inspection as well. But that doesn't, I try to stay away from that the best I can, because I think home inspections are very, very important. And then finally, the last thing, and a lot of agents don't know what this is called an escalation clause. And what this is, basically what this means is that it's a clause that we put into the offer form that says that we will go up in X amount of increments up to a certain point. So, for example, take the $300,000 house. We say, hey, we're going to offer you $300,000 with an escalation clause of $1,000 every time someone beats our offer, up to $310,000. So what that means is that we might wind up ending at anywhere between $300,000 and $310,000 based on what other buyers are bringing to the table. So I know that's a little risky, but at the same time, it is a very good tool and skill to use when you're purchasing a home, because basically you're telling the other person, we're willing to go up to this point in certain increments. So if somebody bid 302, we automatically are at 303. Somebody bid 306, we're automatically at 307, up to 310. So just another good skill and tool to use when you're making offers. So these are the 7 skills. These are 7 tools that I've been using over the past couple of years now. I hope you will pass them along. I hope it's informational. I hope it helps you. And of course, I would love to help you out, whether you're buying a home or you're selling, you're having to do both. Definitely let me know. And always remember, I've been doing this for about 11 years now, and I started off doing this. If you are selling your home and you're also purchasing a home, what I do, and I've been doing this, like I said, for 11 years, is I reduce my commission from 6% to 5%. And there's a lot of agents and companies that don't do that. And why do I do that? I look at it as it's kind of like a loyalty program. And I don't take away any marketing or anything that I would normally do at 6. So please keep that in mind. Give that information to your friends, families, coworkers. Again, I'd love to help anyone out that I can. I hope this information is helpful to you. And give me a call or shoot me an email if I can be of any help. My phone number is 864-430-2451. Hope to speak to you soon. Bye-bye.